he gets out of medical school, and right before he's about to, he confesses to his professors. I don't know why, but he's just like, all those things that those women said about me, they were true. They were true. So they wouldn't really like fully grant him his license. So he decides that he has to just change his name. Okay. So he changes his name. That's when he goes from Herman Mudgett to Harry Howard Holmes, or H.H. Holmes. And he fraudulently puts it in a newspaper somewhere that he passed the bar to become a pharmacist under the name H.H. Holmes. And that was like the first time that there's record of him using that name. So he decided that he wanted to go to Chicago. Chicago was like this new, like, booming city. And so in like the late 1880s, he decides he's going to go to Chicago, and he meets this couple, and the couple is a little bit younger, but the husband is like sickly. He's like bedridden, and the wife is really running the business. And so he gets in there. He's kind of like a model employee for a while, and they trust him. And then that couple disappears, and nobody knows what happened to him. So he just kind of takes over that business. He starts running, puts the things in his name, starts running it. One of the ways he was able to fund going to Chicago is that he married another woman who all official reports claim that she was plain looking or ordinary looking, which I think is a nice historical way to say she was just ugly, but she had a lot of money. She had a lot of money from her parents, and they gave him a ton of money. And so he bought like land down the street in Inglewood where he would he built a building, a 2-story building that was second level was residence, but it had like all sorts of weird shit. It had like trap doors, and it had like just crazy shit. And he was always committing fraud. And the first level was like commercial. And so he was just always doing like shady shit, being like, yeah, like I will, he would buy things on credit and then take the raw materials and then sell the items for cash. Like he's going to buy this lamp for his office. Yeah, like I'll get it on credit. You give me the lamp, I'll pay you back. Then he would take the lamp, sell it to somebody else, and just have the cash and never pay the creditors. And it would be like in his wife's name or his mother-in-law's name or this person's name. Or that. It was never like in his name. So they would come knocking and be like, hey, like we need our shit back. And he's like, I don't know what to tell you. It's not me. You're talking to the wrong guy. You got to talk to this woman who lives, my mother-in-law who lives in Minneapolis. So as time, like there's no phone systems are unreliable. It's not like just sending a text or an email. It's like you're just on a goose chase for months. There's a story of him where he bought this like huge, elaborate safe that he put in his building. And the building, so the people come to like repossess this safe. But he had built like this infrastructure, these walls, and like turned the safe into like a room. So like on purpose, because he knew the creditors and the repo guys would come. He's like, all right, you can take the safe back, but you do not damage the building. It's like, if you damage the building, we're going to have to go to court. I'm going to sue you. The building's worth more than the safe, which it definitely wasn't, but that's what he would argue. And they would try to like, fuck you. All right, you keep the safe. We can't get it out of here without having to tear down a wall. So you win this one. And he was always doing things like that. And so he's running this business, and he's actually like doing sort of well with the pharmacy. And he brings in this young couple to help him, and he eventually sells the business, but they're kind of involved in running it. And he's like, I'm going to focus on real estate, because now like Chicago, like I said, it's booming. They have the World's Fair coming. There's a ton of buzz. And he decides to he's like, I'm going to get in this thing called glass bending. So I have to get this industrial size furnace. And he puts it in the basement of that house. And then he kept hiring all these different people and a lot of young women who were coming to the city. And then like everybody who was like, oh, what happened to Anne? I don't know. She just left one day. And it was like, well, okay, that's the end of Anne. Like maybe she went to San Francisco. No one will ever, who knows? She could be on the Oregon Trail for all we know. And he was just burning them, just cremating them in his glass bending furnace in his basement. And so he would like chloroform them, knock them out, kill them somehow, and was always like obsessed with dissection. So, and then he would lock people in that safe, okay? And he would like have people, he would test it, be like, hey, why don't you like janitor get in the safe and scream as loud as you can. I just want to see if I can hear you. And the janitor would be like, all right. And nope, can't hear you. So then he would lock people and like make them suffocate in there and then remove their body somehow. So he was murdering, who knows, like dozens of people. Yeah. And because of the time and because of he was so good at like lying and being fraudulent that he was just always getting away.